I was in grad school already. It was my third year in grad school. I was home for winter break, and at this point in life, I really struggled my first 2 years here, 3 years in grad school. It was tough because I felt underprepared, and I felt all my peers were much better than me in research and academic-wise, so I felt pretty down. Personally wise, I felt, why am I here? You know, everything is kind of just falling inward, and my relationships with my family were, you know, not really good. They never usually are. But then my mom and sister really sat me down and said, Jerome, you know, we know that something's wrong with you. We know that you're hurting inside, and we really want to help. And then my sister was like, well, you know, I have an answer, essentially. I started going to church actually a few months afterwards. I picked a church just here in Santa Cruz Bible Church, and started going just by myself. And my sister says, that's amazing. But yeah, I went there and then met some people on the first day, and they were showing their incredible love, right? They invited me to small group, community group, and so I said, okay, I'll check this out. What do I have to lose? So really getting plugged in at the church, but still feeling like an outsider at the same time, right? Because I'm still exploring it. That's personally self-imposed, I feel like an outsider, whereas everyone at the church was really trying to welcome me in, but I'm still like, oh, I feel kind of awkward. You're like, am I taking, you know, I'm not one of you guys yet, but I want to find out more. So that whole year, basically, 2012 was this whole year that I went on this journey, and it's a struggle. This is inner tension between I want to believe, and I've seen too much not to believe, really, but it's like, if I do believe, then what? Just before I was coming back to Santa Cruz, it was actually like a few nights in a row where I couldn't really sleep well because I felt I was having arguments with God, really, trying to figure out, okay, God, what do you have for me, right? And so there was this internal battle going on during when I was back home again. So I remember I was driving up to Santa Cruz, but I stopped at my sister's place on the way. And we talked, and she, you know, asked me again, how am I doing, you know, spiritually? And so I remember saying, yeah, it's just this huge weight on me, right? And she was like, well, you know, there is a way to get rid of the weight, right? All you have to do is say yes. And so I did, basically, at that point. That was really when I said, okay, I'm surrendering myself, and, you know, take me, God, because I couldn't bear it anymore, honestly, at that point. And so I think really experiencing community, Christian community, was a big, wow, eye-opener. This is amazing. Even though it's imperfect, but look at how these people love each other, right? That's a big thing for me. And so that was really, I think, what got me hooked, honestly, was really that sense of community. That was the big thing. You know, at the same time, though, it's, what are my friends going to think, right? If I become a believer, because all my friends here, you know, even in the department, they're all basically non-believers, opposed to religion, whatever you want to say. Spirituality, for some, especially in the sciences, right, it's not science. So we don't talk about those things, right? And I think people also, even in grad school especially, right, it's all about achievement and accomplishment, and we kind of bury our problems or worries. That kind of goes with the spiritual aspect, because, you know, spirituality talks about you as a person, right? You as a person, how are you doing? It's interesting that Christians, they still struggle. You know, at one point, I think early on, I said, oh, Christians just have everything right? Everything's totally peachy keen, and they're set. There's no problems, which turned me off, right? Because who wants to be around a bunch of people who have it all set? But I realized that Christians do go through struggles, right? But the thing is that they have hope. There's hope in the struggle. It's not just, oh, woe is me, everything is falling apart and I can't do anything. But Christians really have this sense of hope and their faith, right? And the belief in God and Jesus, which really can pull them through everything. And so that was something that was new to me, really.